Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today for a special edition topic of the Discipline Therapy Podcast with your two incredible hosts, Mr. the Discipline. What is with me today? Jesus.
I make you nervous.
Oh my. You make everybody nervous. 7-time author, Mr. El Discipline, and with him always, Suhey Sotomayor. And before we begin anything, you know how we got to do. Clear that energy. Not that good. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're also on major listening platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, Overcast, Amazon Music, and so much more. Also, shout out to Center Stage Music Studio, Joe, Belmore, New York, Long Island. Merch, if you're looking for that, disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. All the links are in the description to become a Patreon subscriber, where we provide you with exclusive content, bloopers, behind the scenes, discussions of Palestine, Israel, Gaza, transgender, rape, racism, more sensitive topics that would not be
allowed
on YouTube, or we would get shadow banned. So we have it there. Behind the scenes as well are on there. And so much more. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know y'all fiends, and y'all know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy, where not everything is completely free. Like I said, we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. But what is free is judgment-free, sucker-free, censor-free, sensitive-free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great. That means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, and my favorite, roll a blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that vulgar and soul food conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed like one up. Inhale life and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast.
We're here. All right, we're here, and I already told you guys this is a special edition, and we have a guest on the phone. Guest, are you there?
Hey, yes, I'm here. Hey, everyone.
All right. Do you want to remain anonymous, or would you like to state your name?
No, my name is Michaela.
All right, Michaela.
Okay, great. All right, so we're gonna just give us some background for you first before we get into these various topics and point of views. Just some background for you, if you want people to follow you.
As you can hear, I'm from Australia. I grew up in Melbourne, Victoria. Like, I grew up in the country, and then when I was 18, I moved closer to the city. When I was 22, I opened my first business, which was a skin clinic that I closed down mid last year in order to move here to America. And I've been here in America since May. I was in New York for a little bit. Then I was in LA for 6 months. I'm back in New York this week. And I do OnlyFans now.
Okay, I have a couple of questions for you. When you say skin clinic, what does that mean? Like esthetician?
Esthetician, yeah. So I know here in America you guys use that term a little bit more than we do in Australia. But esthetician, I would deal with skin conditions such as eczema. Eczema was my specialty.
Oh, wow.
Rosacea, perioral dermatitis, acne. Like, that's what I dealt with on a daily basis.
Wow.
And we would deal with the internal health, the emotional health, and then the external health of the skin.
Nice. Okay. And now, do you still do that? I mean, I know you said that you sold your business to come out here. Do you still currently do that here, or that's why you do the OnlyFans?
I think I'm not currently working as an esthetician. I think that will always be a little bit of me, because I've been in the industry since I was 14 years old, and I'm 30 now.
Wow.
So it's been all that I know. And I do still do affiliate marketing. I do content creation for a lot of the brands that I used to work with as well.
All right. So,
yeah.
So what is your perspective on femininity, masculinity, divine, today's society, old school, new school, traditional dating, conventional, unconventional, modern dating?
I think we live in a society which means we get to choose what works for us, which is really exciting. I know we are such a narcissistic bunch of people that think like we're always like experiencing the worst of something, but I think we're in like a pretty good time in terms of like whatever you want, there's a group that's going to be supportive of that. Me personally, when I was 18, I was in a relationship where I was like a female dominatrix. And then when I owned my business, I didn't want to be that dominant person anymore. I think because like if we're talking about, the energies, masculine and feminine, my masculine energy was used up on a daily basis. I just wanted to go home and relax and not have to take the lead when it came to like my personal life. I personally prefer to be more of that feminine type, but when a relationship isn't balanced, that's when the energies kind of get all mixed up. And I think a lot of trauma has to do with that. And a lot of people that don't want to deal with the trauma means that the people that have been dealing with the trauma also have to deal with those that don't want to.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
do
So
you have?
dating's difficult because of that. You've got a lot of people that are aware and then a lot of people that are unaware. And yeah, it can get confusing.
You're speaking subjective, like dating is hard for you, or vast majority of people?
Well, I've been in an industry where all I do is speak to women all day. I think from my lens, and I obviously am a woman that does speak to women, but from my lens, there is a lot of very intelligent, emotionally and intellectually intelligent women out there that are struggling to find men that can even comprehend the same conversations.
So let me ask you something. Find it fascinating that you have an OnlyFans. What are you doing on there? Cooking?
I'm doing a bit of everything now. Like, I definitely think like the porn world and the adult industry desensitizes you. I don't think you can avoid that. But at first, so I've always been a very liberal person, like a very kind of naked person, whether it was sexual or not sexual. I've always been very open in terms of relationship dynamics. So, like, I've had open relationships and relationships where we would bring people home together. So, I've always been very like, it's whatever. It was actually my mum who was like, you should do OnlyFans. And I was like, Mum, you know it's porn, right? And she's like, yeah, but no one's exploiting you. She grew up in a cult. So she grew up very like oppressed. And so she kind of lives through me in terms of the rebellious side. But I started off doing OnlyFans just pretty much my main things in my life are smoking weed, cooking and eating, and self-care. So like any kind of beauty stuff. So that was what I would do on there. I would like cook, and a lot of the time when I'm at home, I'm cooking in underwear or less. So I would just cook like that, or I would do like my self-care routines or like have a bath, and then it just kind of escalated. I would say like there's proper porn on there now. Like there's sex tapes on there. There's like it's mainly solo clips, but yeah, I'm doing a bit of everything.
Okay. So, what are you in a relationship now?
Yes.
Okay. What does he think about that?
I'm in very complicated relationships. I would say that I'm poly.
Oh, I was going to
So
ask you that question.
You're poly?
yeah, I would say that I'm poly.
So you're in multiple relationships.
I'm just trying to think how much they want me to say about our relationships. But we can talk about him.
So you're
for
in
sure. We can talk about
you're in an
him more
open.
than her. But it's been interesting because he's an artist. So he's a musician and a model. So he uses a lot of like how he looks as a way to attract people also. So I think he has been more accepting of me and my lifestyle than I have been of him and his lifestyle.
How long you have been together?
6 months.
So is the open relationship on your end both?
See, the thing about the kink world, the best and the worst thing about the kink world is like everyone's definition is like has got to do with their own perspective of it, right?
What's the kink world?
The kink world, so like any kind of like any BDSM, any kind of
So is it
open types of relationships, like everyone has their own individual type of dynamic.
So is
what it means for them, right?
Is the lifestyle is it a lifestyle for you or is it just kink?
No, it's a lifestyle.
Okay. So
Because it's like
I think
if
that's
it's a
contradictory, but go ahead.
How is it? How?
Because lifestyle means 24/7. And if it was a lifestyle, you're going to be picking which energy you're going to be
Absorbing?
no, you're going to be stubborn in where you're going to have that role, or you're going to be a switch with your partner.
Oh,
like,
no, I don't mean like that. I just mean like you're talking about masculine and feminine, like choose like you can be a switch. I would
Yeah,
definitely say that I'm a
that's
switch. You
yeah.
can still be in the kink world and have it as a lifestyle and be a switch. I think to say that it's contradictory and have it be 24/7, like by it being 24/7, I don't think that's such a true statement. I feel like that's kind of saying, oh, if you're gay, you got to be having sex with someone of the same sex 24/7 to be proving that you're gay. I think
Yeah,
you
that's
can
what it
live
is.
in
That's
a
true.
lifestyle. I think you can live in a lifestyle and implement parts of those lifestyle and it actually just be fitting for you. So like to give you an example, me and the man that I'm in a relationship with, him being like a musician and a rock star, it's like there is a lot of image that comes with that. And with that image, it's like, well, we may as well make it a lifestyle, you know? So like the image is that like there's girls all around, that there's orgies, there's threesomes. So that's the image. It's like, okay, well, let's make it a lifestyle because his job means that that image is going to be portrayed every day. So therefore, it is a lifestyle.
Okay, your perspective doesn't mean it's true. Now with
Well, in our case, and that's why I said like that's why this world is so interesting because it's got to do with each individual person.
So with your
definition for them.
Yeah, so you guys switch.
Switch? No. This. What do you mean?
So you're dominant and submissive sometimes, and he's dominant
No,
and submissive.
I was dominant before I owned my business. So that was when I was 18. I'm 30 years old now.
Okay. So you're submissive now. He's dominant.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's not in the lifestyle, is he? Like, is he a dominant in the lifestyle, or he's
no?
That's what I was gonna get into.
He's just a dominant energy. I wouldn't say that he is a dom.
Okay.
Is so because I say the lifestyle, is something that's 24/7. If this was a lifestyle for you, it would bother you to be with him. And not only would it bother you to be with him, it would come to a point where, you're either going to transition 100% or not, because women settle more than men. So if
Sorry, I can't really hear you. Why would it bother me to be with him?
Yeah, like it would bother you to be with him, if it was a lifestyle, because you're going to choose one role to be, especially if you want to be in your feminine more and you don't see him as a dominant. You see certain characteristics that's dominant. Maybe he's tall, his status, whatever, the fact that women are attracted to him, maybe power that entices you for whatever reason. And your translation of dominance, you see in him, he's not a real dom. You admitted that. And I was saying, if it was a lifestyle for you, then you would be picking one side of the fence, and be stuck with that. With
only if the other person also was a rigid.
Exactly.
So like that's again
so
the beauty of it.
If you want to be in your core, don't you think you should be with somebody that's going to help thrive that?
Did I say that there was one particular thing that I wanted to be?
No, but we're talking more so about the masculine and the kinks before, and the feminine, and tradition before we get into other topics.
I think I'm confused by the question because I like, as I keep saying, like my perspective on things is that two people get to decide like exactly the level of which they're playing at and how much of it is a part of like their personality and their identity.
Okay.
And I think especially with this world as well, like I think you're talking specifically like dominatrix and submissive.
No,
I think there's still a sliding.
You're saying it wrong. Dominant and submissive, not dominatrix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking specifically about just those two things, it's still a spectrum. Like you can have a light dom or you can have someone that is like very dominant, and it's like for someone that wasn't into someone that dominant, they might deem it as like going too far.
Mm.
And that person that might deem it as going too far might say that they are submissive, but they're only lightly submissive. They're not what the next person would deem submissive to be. It's a spectrum.
Like, does he know about the kink world? Is he in it already, or did you introduce him to it? Did he introduce it to you? Like, how did that come up? How did you guys find that world?
He actually has been having like polyamorous relationships since he was like 16.
Okay.
So like I think from different like perspectives, like we would say, and whether you want to call it kink or not, it's like definitely just alternative lifestyle. You know, it's not your traditional man meets girl monogamous relationship. They have regular sex together and then that is the end. It's just like there's an alternative lifestyle. So like I know when he was like 16, I think he had 2 girlfriends that like they knew about each other. They were like in a relationship as well. It was like a throuple.
And I know when I'm sorry, when you were saying about that you're poly as well, you have, I thought I heard like a woman's name that you were saying. Do you have a girlfriend as well, or just like do you both have a girlfriend?
Yeah, so I have a female partner.
Just you, or all three of you? Like is he?
No, just me and her.
So you're also bisexual?
Pardon?
So you're also bisexual?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a prime example of how the man's gonna lead and doesn't lead, based off how she is. So it's like, you know, she doesn't see him as a dom, but she sees certain dom characteristics. He really was one. He would have possessiveness and territorial. She says that he's more prone to accepting her lifestyle than she is to accepting his. I just think he doesn't care. But that's just my perspective. I'm not trying to, you know, be a dick or anything like that or an asshole. But men are like territorial and possessive by nature. So
no,
that's how they.
What I mean is he is the one that was like, he was okay with me doing OnlyFans. Like he wasn't in love with it. He was like, look, your pussy's out on the internet. I don't like that. And he definitely doesn't want me collaborating with men. None of that. It's more that like my lifestyle and how OnlyFans comes up in my day-to-day life is a lot less of a threat to a relationship than say a rock star's lifestyle.
Okay.
So it's more like
I
think it's probably more like the frequency at which like other people are involved in our relationship from like his side of things. It's like a little bit harder for me to deal with than like he's already accepted the things that I do because it's like me putting it out there online.
So why did it turn to like porn content instead of you just keep doing what you were doing prior?
I think people get bored. People want to see more. People stop paying for the same thing.
The money.
The money, yeah.
Okay.
It's like if you want to make money on it, you got to listen to
adjust
what
to the
like
times.
people view you as, really.
Okay.
Now, when you were a female dominatrix, I know you said that.
That was just in a relationship. I wasn't doing that professionally or anything.
Okay, that was my question. So you were a female dominatrix in a relationship.
Yes.
And so he was your submissive?
Yes. So it was really interesting because I was 18 and he was 26.
Oh.
And the way that I came about learning about this was I had on some Louboutin heels and he goes, they're really hot. And I'm like, hot like what? Like you on all fours, stick the heel in your back, have a collar around your neck kind of hot? And he was like, oh my God. And his reaction, I was like, oh, I was joking, but you liked that. And he was like, yeah, I kind of do. These are my fantasies, and put them all out on the table. And I was like, well, why not? Like I said, I was always very liberal. So I was like, well, if they're your
That
fantasies,
makes
like
sense.
I don't have a problem with.
You got tired of having to be the one to like to be in that masculine role. How long?
No, it was more open my business for 4 years. After that, I was only in that relationship for maybe like a year.
Okay. So you were
it
only
was
a female dominatrix only in that relationship and only for a year?
no. Then I also was in another relationship.
As a female dominatrix?
Yeah, not as heavy, but light dom. Yeah.
All over the place.
And so
I don't know if you can call pegging a light dom, but like
That's not a
it
dom at
wasn't
all.
so
I'm sorry,
much
ma'am.
humiliation and
Ma'am, I'm sorry. It's not a dom at all.
pegging.
Yeah, it's not a dom.
Okay, well then I wouldn't say that. Like whereas the first one, like he wanted to be like humiliated and degraded and like me to overpower him.
Yeah, he's a masochist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say you're spiritual? Like I kind of like went through your Instagram. Like I see you smoke weed. You're good in my book for that.
I mean,
Sorry,
I like
what'd
it.
you say? What was the last thing?
I said you're good in my book for that because I smoke.
So do I.
You like weed?
Yes. So
I love weed.
yeah. So would you consider yourself like conscious or a spiritual person as well?
Yes. So, like I said, my mum grew up in a cult. So, I was raised really like anti religious, but very spiritual. So, I was raised being taught that like religion is politics, whereas like every religion really has the same essence in terms of morals. So, that was kind of the beginning of things. I would say I've always been intuitive. My older brother, you would never know it to look at him. He's like raced motocross, he's covered in tattoos, looks like a truck driver now. He is a medium. So like he always got messages from spirits. Even as like a toddler, he used to say things.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of the household I grew up in. And I definitely I was in a relationship. It was definitely a toxic relationship, but he introduced me to weed and psychedelics a little bit more than I had been in the past. And that was during a time that I found like Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
Have you heard of Joe Dispenza?
No.
He does like quantum hypnosis, talks about like quantum physics a lot, and he does brain scans with his meditations. So I really like started delving into like, why are these things illegal? What's the political systems behind it? What's the spiritual purpose of all of this? And yeah, so I would say that I'm very spiritual. I would say that I'm conscious. I would say even though I'm conscious, I still make a lot of human mistakes.
Yeah, I was gonna get into it. But yeah.
The human mistakes, that's probably the biggest topic you could talk to me about. I made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But yeah, because I was gonna ask, like, if you're really like, if you're spiritual and conscious, like, why continue the OnlyFans or what you're doing on there?
Yeah. So it was more that it was an opportunity that came to me to help me in the direction that I wanted to go in terms of like, because obviously I'm an educated, driven person, right? To open a business at 22 and have that business open for 8 years until I decided to close it, as opposed to it closing itself down.
That's great.
Yeah, but being very like open with my sexuality, I was learning a lot about sensuality, and how to be more in touch with myself, because I would say that I struggle with overgiving So I was learning a lot about how to receive and give back to myself, which is a feminine trait, right? So that's definitely an area of femininity I struggle with, is the receiving. But I came
Interesting.
across Emmanuel Luston in New York, who does those sexy massages. And this was kind of
Oh.
before he was doing all of them with the OnlyFans models. He was seeing clients. And I was super curious because I had just done like a 12-week course with a woman about sensuality. So I was like, this sensual massage sounds really cool. I'd heard about like yoni massages and things like that. I wasn't super keen about the yoni massage because I don't know, it just didn't really like, I didn't really see the point for myself. But this, I thought, this is really amazing because it takes a very special type of man to be able to have a woman be completely surrendered to him and it be all about the woman and just be about that woman. So I was like, I want to book in. I want to see what it's like. So I messaged him, I booked in a time, and then I was talking to a male friend of mine. And I said that I was booked in, and he goes, Michaela, if you want to get a massage, just go and book in for a massage. And I said, I have. He goes, can you go on his Twitter? I went on his Twitter and I saw that, oh, it was a little bit more than a massage. But I was like, fuck it. I'm in my Samantha from Sex and the City era. Like, I am still kind of curious as to what this man does. So I went and he like asked if he could film. And because, again, I've been in the beauty industry since I was 14, nudity to me, I'm very European in terms of my mindset around nudity because
Yeah, it's very
when you're
open over
training,
there. Yeah.
yeah, like when you're training and everything, everyone's naked all the time. So it's like I would always say the beauty industry is the only other industry besides the sex industry where it's perfectly normal to see your coworkers' genitals. So it's like nudity is whatever to me. So he asked if he could film and I said, yeah. And this was just for Instagram. And he posted me on Instagram. It got 4 million views and I got 20,000 followers overnight.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't have OnlyFans at this point, but I had decided, this was like, because I had come to America a couple of times, I decided that I wanted to make the move here. And what that would mean is to close down my business. And so when I made those followers, he goes, Michaela, do OnlyFans. And I'm like, I don't really want to do OnlyFans, you know. And he's like, look, you can just do your cooking on there. It's whatever you want to do. It's however you want to market it. So I went viral in November. I started the OnlyFans in January last year. And yeah, it was just an
so it's a
opportunity.
year
And then,
only. Oh.
pardon?
It's you've only had your OnlyFans for a year.
Yeah, I've only had it for a year.
Okay.
And it just has allowed me to support myself while I've been transitioning, moving countries. I don't know if you know how difficult it is to move over to America, but it's like I've had the right to live here or be in the country since I got here in May, and I still don't have my social security in order to open up a bank account and get a credit score.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like with that, you can't get a job. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very difficult to move to this country if you're not from here.
Okay, so I can see where the OnlyFans.
Do you plan to have children one day? Like, I understand the circumstances, and it's like at the end of the day, it's almost like this is the last shot for me. Like, I gotta do this. You know, this is like easy, quick, fast money. So I understand.
Easy money. It's a lot of energetic work.
Hold on. I understand this. But easy money for a woman because you guys are already kind of viewed as sexual objects from the beginning. So I don't think it's like that hard when you go into the realm of porn and exposing yourself and objectifying yourself. It's not hard to sexually objectify yourself.
As in, do I find it hard?
No, it's not hard. I'm telling you the truth. Not my opinion or asking.
Women are already sexual objects.
Yes. So that's why I'm saying that based off perspective, science, biology. It's not hard. But being that, you know, you went into this realm, do you plan to have like children one day? Do you plan to get married?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just like trying to get you to think about the future. Like the OnlyFans is great right now. The money, it's quick, it's the last resort possibly. I need to navigate through the world, America. But, you know, do you think about the future? Like could this possibly hurt your children in the future? Your future husband? Like when you get with a real man.
I do think about the future a little bit. It's actually funny because I always say like the one thing about America is Americans have no shame. Like they will do anything for money, and that's definitely not the vibe that Australia is. There is definitely a lot more shame around things like OnlyFans and sex work in Australia than there is here, and especially because I've been living in LA for the last 6 months, everyone seems to be a pimp or a hoe, and that's the language that is just used, right?
Mm.
In terms of like husband, like that husband can't say shit to me unless he's here right now providing me the money and helping me support myself. So like anything that happens before him, like, oh well, if he has a problem with it, then like I'm sure there's things that I can dig up about his past that I'm not happy with as well.
That sounds pretty
Most men
toxic, ma'am.
Well, it's just like it's toxic
Like
to
tit
think
for
that
tat.
someone has the right to control like who I am before I even knew they existed, or control how I support myself, or
Okay.
control what I do. I think I've actually met some amazing men that are in the adult entertainment industry as well, that are like very evolved, very spiritual men. So maybe it's just like, because this seems to be a topic of discussion, right?
No
People
way.
seem to be so personally offended by someone else doing porn. So maybe it just works that people that do porn end up in relationships with other people that do porn, and then it's not an issue.
That's usually how it is. That's like the only option almost.
Well, it's kind of like someone that is into being a hardcore dominant. They're gonna have to be with someone that wants to be submissive.
Absolutely. You probably haven't been onto the shows, but I talk about that all the time.
Yeah. So it's like you just got to find what's compatible. And that's why I said at the very start, like, I think we live in a world where we have the opportunity to be whatever we want.
Okay.
We're always going to find a community that is for us and against us. Always. That's the human experience, is polarity. I think as long as you're responsible, not hurting yourself, not hurting others, I think a lot of people make other people's decisions personal to them when they're not. But I have the support of like my family. I actually haven't. Surprisingly, I'm very privileged. Like I have always been someone that has just done what I've wanted to do anyway, which I think conditioned everyone around me to just accept like Michaela is who she is.
Yeah.
But I actually haven't had any negative pushback except from a couple of guys who have approached me to date me that then had an issue when they found out about it. And it's like, you wanted to date me, like you approached me, like that's fine. You can turn around and go the other way and find the girl that is what you want. Like I'm not offended by it.
Privilege is invisible to those who have it. The children's scenario. So you have a child, one day you say, okay, I'm kind of tired of this OnlyFans, or maybe you still have the OnlyFans. You want a family. You have a son, and your OnlyFans gets floated around. Give him like till he's 5, 6, starts going to school, and these little kids are like onto shit. 6 years old, they're so onto technology. You are seen somewhere. His friends notice that it's his mom, and they start making fun of your son for what you do. And I'm only asking you this because you said as long as it doesn't affect anybody, you're not hurting anybody, but your son is hurt now. So
yeah,
like,
so
what would you do? What would you do?
Funny.
What would you do?
Well, I always find this discussion really funny because you said my child would have to be 5 or 6. Right? I'm looking at porn.
I'm not gonna talk about, and I don't want you to do it either, about what their parents are allowing them to do, because kids are gonna do what they want, especially when they go to school. You can't even guard them and stuff. It's
I would
Probably
be
prone to
shocked
happen.
if a
It's
5-year-old is
ho-
taking porn to another 5-year-old.
I just want to know what you would do. They're making fun of him now because it floated around. They found it.
I always laugh at this because I remember when when the internet first came out, people would always be like, "Don't send out nudes; they'll be on the internet forever." Like, can you imagine how pixelated that shit would be? Like, you can't find that shit. Like, where
It's
did
not making
MySpace
sense.
go? That disappeared. It's just like there's so many people doing OnlyFans. There's so much porn out
It's
there.
not
that the
about
chance of
that. I'm
someone
talking
finding
about
it is-
subjectively you now. Don't worry about anybody else. Your son is devastated. He comes to you, Mom, they were making fun of me. I didn't even know about this. Why are you doing this? Why are you on there like that?
Well, I would want to know why 5 and 6-year-olds would be having sexual discussions anyway, for one. For two, I would want to know, I would be talking to that child about how someone else's opinion impacts them so much and how someone else's opinion of someone that is outside of them impacts them so much. So, like,
Think a
my
little
child
kid.
would be coming to me, say, upset about someone else's opinion of me. That's none of their business, for one. And for two, who gives a fuck? That's their opinion.
Oh, you're gonna say that to the kid? The same.
Well, apparently these kids are looking at porn together as
Okay.
5-year-olds. So, like,
Okay. All right. Cool. I mean, I don't have any more further questions.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for being a guest. You know,
welcome.
good luck with your future endeavors. And
Thank you.
did you have any final thoughts? Like the show, hate the show, experience, have a problem with what I say? Final thoughts.
No, it's good. You ask the hard questions. You ask the questions like people always want to talk about, you know.
All right.
And it's like, I guess my first and final comment is like, yeah, we live in a world where like you're always going to find people that hate you, but you can always find people that love you and agree with you and have the same lifestyle. So it's like about just finding your community, finding what works for you and living for yourself. You know, we only have a short time on this earth. I don't think me doing porn changes the world that much.
Okay.
You know, for a year.
It
and
does.
it's not the long-term goal. It's just for me to support myself right now.
All right.
Thank you for being a guest on the show. Have a good night.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
That was
she
one of the most interesting shows
Yeah,
I've ever
she
got a
triggered-
privilege of sitting on.
she triggered me a lot. Good luck. But this is a prime example of the modern woman. Okay? So, and I could see she was triggering you. You usually talk. Like,
How
I
is that?
can't get you. I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. Yo, wrap it up.
You know what? I did
You
want to
usually talk.
ask her where was her dad? Because I know she mentioned her
yeah,
mom.
that was good.
Yeah. Just slipped right off
So
my-
this is a prime example of like women not taking, well, modern females not taking accountability. You know, I'm not bashing nobody. I don't want to pick on nobody, but I'm just giving you an example. And this always happens with modern liberal feminists. You ask them these type of questions, they don't answer. They shirk, they blame. Well, why is this person worried about me? I'm not affected. It will. You want to have a child? It will. There's been true stories that boys have committed suicide because of that scenario. That's why I asked her, what would you do? How would you talk to them? Terrible way. You could see this. Terrible. You could DM me if you have any objections or whatever. Very bad. And I don't blame it because it's not in a woman's role to do that. Right? The man, that's his responsibility as a father to kind of just make the boy understand what's going on and stuff. Not a real man. If that's the case, if he's going to be with you, and he's not really accepting, he's lying. And it's more so the real quality guy is going to have a problem with that, and he's going to tell you that this needs to be eradicated, or you need to be doing something else on there. I'm not going to take my woman to no, you know. Second is it affects everybody because the more women keep doing it and doing it, the females keep doing it and doing it, they're profiting. One of the things that I think the mom or whoever was saying it to her for her to do it, oh, you're not exploiting yourself. You are. And the biggest thing is you don't control that. It's just like Instagram. Like I have a page, I'm here for rent. Like you renting, right? You pay a mortgage, you don't own the land. It's like Instagram. You're on somebody's platform. So they're exploiting you too. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to get into as well. These women that do OnlyFans are not OnlyFans are not and no, let me reiterate to make it specific. And doing porn content, they're not spiritual. They're not conscious. I kept asking, she kept avoiding it. The question, it's yes or no. You're not, because spiritual women know about masculine and feminine, and they're in there feminine if they're really spiritual and conscious. So if she was spiritual and actually healed, clearly she's not. She was talking tit for tat, revenge. I could dig something up. If she was healed and in her divinity, she would be like, I'm going to find another way to make money.
Yeah, that's true.
Because of morale. It's ironic that she mentioned that stuff. Sometimes I just let people talk, but I need to tell the real stuff. I can't let people come on here and talk and say that this is great and we got to let everybody be what they want. That what you're going to tell your son, fuck what everybody thinks, is going to fuck him up. Because now he's going to be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck what everybody thinks. Go punch that nigga and go bring a gun.
Yeah, true.
God forbid, commit suicide.
Yeah.
Because he don't give a fuck what people think. He learned that from you.
That's true.
It's bad. You're hurting everybody in society. You're hurting the relationship market of men connecting. Those two guys that had a problem with it could have been those traditional masculine men that could have put you at safe, give you a safe space in all ways for you to be present. Clearly, this woman wants to be in her divinity, but she doesn't have the right leadership to do it. So this is a problem in society for these girls that think, let's make those quick money this way, and that they're also going to have successful relationships. The guy, and this is a fact. I was watching a podcast where this girl has an OnlyFans, and she said she was with this guy for 5 years. It ended. She tried to act like she left the relationship. The dude would probably let you do the OnlyFans because he's one, doing his thing back there, doesn't have options, doesn't respect himself, and he's lazy. He doesn't want to fight with her. She's making a shitload of money, maybe more than me, on that. So he might equivalent that with power. So he doesn't fight as much, but he still does his thing because he doesn't respect the woman he's with. He stays with her because of her status. She looks good and I'm the one within close proximity. I'm fucking her. So he might stay for that as well. Eye candy. It's not real. Because a real man, it's going to hurt him in his heart that you do that.
That's true.
It is. No matter what the woman says, oh, this is for money, don't worry about those guys in the comment, that it's going to hurt him in his heart. He's going to keep that to himself because he doesn't want to be an embarrassment. And if he is exploited publicly, he will brainwash himself and the situation to flip the narrative to make it work in his favor while he made the right decision.
He's secure in
But
himself.
science and biology, we revert back to our nature. Men are possessive and territorial by nature. So you're going to get guys that's going to play with you, but you're not going to get the seriousness. No, she's still young right now. But eventually she's going to get to that age where it's going to be like, damn, I made a lot of mistakes and this put other people at risk. I hope she doesn't have kids yet.
Yeah.
Because of their well-being, what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes kids change people, but sometimes they're just like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then with this mentality, just put it upon my kids. Fuck what people think. Fuck your friends. Oh, so that's what you want them to tell them? What if it's a bully and he gets knocked out?
Yep.
You started the domino push.
Yep.
It's like a domino effect. You started it with the littlest things. So a lot of women are not built to think about the future. It's the man's responsibility to come in and be like, you know what? This is what it needs to be. It's not about me coming in, oh, you did this before me, blah, blah, blah. The man, and they need to articulate this, probably it wasn't happening. And it needs to be in the sense of, listen, I'm going to be invested here. We're going to be one. Even if he is poly, he's thinking of one because we'll have the same goal. So if it's one, you represent me.
Yeah.
The man thinks this, he might not articulate it. You represent me. I can't deal with it. I cannot have you on there doing that and still me being emotionally present there. That's why I told you it ain't real. The dude that's accepting is not emotionally present there. When a man is emotionally present, you get all of him. Yo, that's shit
true.
crazy. That shit crazy. And a lot of women don't know that. Same chicks posting their booty online. They not on OnlyFans. They're just doing it. It's just a picture. It's nothing. He's not emotionally present.
Yeah, definitely not.
He's not. Because when the man is emotionally present, he goes back to the alpha man. He pushes out this core masculinity. And alpha traits are possessiveness and territorial. Don't go out dressed like that. It's not insecurities. I know what that is going to bring. Plus it's principles. That's mine. You said that shit last night when I was piping you. So now you acting like your body's not mine. So it's just when you horny you say that. Well, baby, I'm taking that literal. I'm technical. You understand what I'm saying? Not too many people are breaking it down like this.
Definitely not.
So the OnlyFans women are going to be the ones that are going to be crying the most at the end.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's very dangerous. If you want to live your life and do that, be a hoe, whatever, online to be, do that. But don't also say you're in this too. Because I'm going to give you an example if you don't agree with that. Hardcore dominant. Salute. I thought you sneezed. Hardcore dominant. 24/7. Get with specific type of women. But then again, I get with another woman who wants to peg me. And I allow it. She wants to eat the ass. And I allow it. She wants to dominate me in bed. And I allow it. She wants to do what she wants to do. She's a liberal, modern feminist. And I allow that. Continue to engage with her. She's part of the circle or my only girl. And I'm cool with that. That's that. It's a lie. It's a lie because it's not that people are multifaceted and they could be split. You pick one thing eventually.
That's true.
You pick one thing eventually, or what trumps everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
So what are you as a man? A bitch? Are you gay? Are you bisexual? Are you a man? Are you dominant? Are you submissive? Maybe you think you could be all these things, but you resonate with one thing more than everything else.
That's true. I agree with
That's
that.
a fact.
That's true.
You know, so ultimately, like, it's something you pick, even if you're a switch, because there's something that makes you the most present.
Yep.
If I'm not,
That's what it is.
If I'm not dominant, especially in my relationship, I won't be the most present there. Not just emotionally and psychologically, sexually. She won't get the beast, and she likes the beast. I lazy dick her because I'm not dominant there, especially outside. So why am I gonna even go hardcore in there and worrying about your orgasm? Why would I lead? Why would I teach? Why would I know all of these things as a man, but why would I teach? Why would I tell you going out dressed like that and what the possible replications would be? No, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. But I know.
Let it be a surprise.
Yeah, I know. You see? So when the man's emotionally present, he's bringing discipline to the dynamic. He is, and that is synonymous with care.
With love.
So these dudes, when they get with these good-looking OnlyFans chicks, they're just with them for superficial. That's what it comes down to. It's like, oh, she makes me look good. That's what it comes down to. It's not real. It's not real. I don't care what anybody say. They could debate me. Oh, different. It's not real. Because if that's the case and the man really accepts that, he ain't a real man. That's just what it is. He ain't a real man. You know what I'm saying? Because even if the man is in an open relationship and he has more than one woman, they act the same. They're different, but they act the same. Why? My rules are the same. My principles are the same. My values are the same. If I tell women in general that I will not allow my women or my woman to do that, and that first woman knows that, the second one is going to. If I don't mention that to the second one, the moment she clicks the post, no. I'm sorry I didn't mention this from the beginning. He's going to correct that. He's not letting it slide. And then the other one, I always talk about this. God could have 2 chicks. She got all the rules. She can't do shit. Yep. Hypothetically. Right? That's not true. She can't do shit. But she can't do what people say. She can't do nothing. The other one does whatever. So you have a conservative woman and a liberal? The feminine follows the masculine. When the masculine shows up, the feminine adjusts. Masculine energy is the cornerstone to the success of the relationship. So if the man is letting these women, or if they're different and he's letting them do whatever, wait a minute. What's up with him?
Yep.
That's the inconsistency.
And it don't work if it's not consistent.
Yeah. Yep. Because consistent is character. So that's the problem. And I want to tell these women that are watching this that have OnlyFans, you could think like that. Oh, it ain't hurt nobody. I'm doing this for fast money and stuff like that. There's consequences. If I choose to go back to the hood and engage in street activity again, there's consequences to that.
Yeah.
Karma, spiritual consequences. My kids might be hurt. I might be able to dodge it. I'm skiing, dodging that shit, right? But it might hit my kids. It might hit something. It might eventually catch up. Nipsey said that. Yep. Nipsey talked about energy. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to run from the cops. And eventually, he's on that. Verbatim.
Something will come out.
Verbatim. Yep. He said that. Rest in peace. Yep. So at the end of the day, it's all about energy. You know, it's not about free spirit. Let everybody, though, we ain't messing with nobody. Yeah, one person affects everyone. One woman, what she does affects every girl. Because a lot of people don't know how to decipher. Yeah, so now they generalize all women. One man, how he acts, how he treated that one woman in the relationship and caused her to have trauma and she's jaded, fucks it up for a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah. For years.
You see? So, yeah, you need to represent yourself like you're leading 3,000 people. Yeah, ain't a lot of leaders out here, a lot of followers. That's why she created an OnlyFans. Yeah. Because she a follower. I'm not bashing nobody or whatever it is and whatever, but I'm just like, that's a prime example. I didn't expect all that stuff to hear that too. Yeah. But it completely goes against what I talk about and stuff. And I'm not going to bring people like that on here and not challenge them. That's crazy. I'm just going to sit quiet and just be like, oh,
she
yeah.
She did say you asked all the good, hard questions.
Yeah. So that's just let everybody for what I stand for. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people could do whatever they want to do. But what we got to mention too, which is not being mentioned, and I said this on the last show, so I'm glad it even happened. We are not telling them what the possible ramifications are. That's the number one problem. Because people will do things with the absence in their mind of accountability or what can happen in 5 years from now.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So in that, with the woman in the OnlyFans that I knew of, she was in a 5-year relationship. It ended. Maybe things would have been different if she would have canceled that, never started it while she was with that guy for 5 years. Okay. Yeah, he eventually got tired of her. Because if you was there for so long, you just ain't waking up tomorrow like, oh, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he was probably pushed all that time.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, the man's going to pursue, right? So if you really was something for him, he going to find a way to get you back. Chase you, whatever. Yo, let's talk about this. No, I'm not letting you go. He would have eventually, but if he stayed, yeah, it's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he eventually was just like, oh, it's a wrap. Maybe he finally found what he was looking for. And he's like, bye. That's what I was waiting for. She a placeholder. We had an episode like that too.
Yeah, we did, yep.
She a placeholder. So the OnlyFans chick is going to be a placeholder. She ain't going to get the ring. Unless, like she said, we're both in the industry. He's into porn too. Yeah, that's the only way it will work. Yeah. And then that guy might be doing some funny shit. Let me peg me right up the back. Yeah, he ain't really like a real man. You know what I'm saying? But you'll get the ring, but you ain't gonna get the caliber of man you really, really want. That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
All right. So you have any final thoughts?
No, that was an interesting guest. I do wish you would have asked her if she considered herself a feminist, because we didn't.
She is.
No, I know. I want to know if she considered herself.
She probably doesn't know the difference. I'm not trying to condescend, but she probably didn't know. She said that he was a light dom.
Yeah, I
because
don't
he
know
like
what that
pegging and stuff. Like it's
That's
kind of
interesting.
it's kind of crazy for you to like verbalize something you didn't research or somebody told you a lie. That's
Yeah.
wild to me. So I have to be here to correct you because I lived a life. So you gonna be making people think that that's a dom too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he light though. He's soft.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you saying a soft lion.
Yeah.
Like what? That's an oxymoron. Biggie Smalls was Christopher Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't real. Big Shrimp. What? Dom is the epitome of masculinity. A dom, the highest value of a real man. And you telling me soft? You gonna get a little bite from a pit bull if you keep bothering him? Like a little bite, soft bite. It was gentle. No. Yeah. So, man, blew my mind.
Yeah.
Probably never again. Glad I could experience that, but probably never again because I know how the conversations are gonna go. That's why I always told you, like, I don't even want to bring a dominatrix on. I've had a lot of fans, oh, you should do it. It'll be interesting because they want to see the debate. I don't like debating with people.
Yeah.
They want to see it. Oh, man of your stature and battle of sexes. I won't let it get that far.
Yeah. That's good though.
So
you have
to me,
control of the situation.
to me personally, it's more so like I'm gonna bring somebody on that I could learn something. I'm gonna bring somebody on that's not gonna kill my brain cells. I'm gonna bring somebody on that's more so like it's unpredictable in the sense of what they're gonna say.
Yep.
I'm not bringing people on that I know what you're gonna say. I know where your trauma comes from. And then once I say, yeah, they'll say that makes sense. And how? Am I a psychic? Maybe. But I like it ain't interesting to bring you on because I know all about your background before you even tell me.
Yeah.
Because that act, that content or whatever you're gauging in street life, whatever, whole activity, OnlyFans, whatever, a guy's a scammer, I know where all those things root from. You know what I'm saying? I know where all those things root from. Especially a ex-street nigga. So I could relate to the dope boy. I know how he thinks, how he feel. I know the sleep he don't get. Last to sleep, first up. Hugging the block. Like I know what it is before it's even told to me. So, yeah. So, I mean, people need to heal. They need to study. And they need to do things that is going to enhance their growth and spiritual growth. If you still hold ill will towards certain people, like, oh, they going to do this tit for tat, whatever. Oh, I'm going to get back at my ex. You're not healed. You know what I'm saying? You're not healed. So, the stuff you're engaging in, probably not healed, and it's going to affect people around you, your family, your friends, if you have children. The way a woman posts online and her page is open and she has children, shit will be found, especially nowadays.
Even not just children, but like future employment or whatever.
So. That's what's gonna make a lot of them act right. So the OnlyFans people that are only doing that, they're different. But if they're doing it as a side hustle and they have a professional job or they have a profession, it could be hard.
Oh yeah.
You better. I seen a commercial, not a commercial. I seen some on Instagram. A woman was riding shotgun, and I knew it because she didn't have her hand on the wheel. She blurred out her badge. Smart, because and she had a turban on, so you could kind of fake how you look. Like somebody'd be like, "Oh, that looks like her," but I don't know. Her badge was blurred, so they ain't gonna find you. You see? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So women are starting to get smart now because they're seeing, I'm learning from the bitch's mistake. Yeah. So that's what it comes down to. Women that do this put themselves at risk. They don't put themselves in position to be safe, felt safe. Not with a man or going out anywhere.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody's stalking and stuff, you got the wrong person that you could be giving false hope to. It's happened. Stories of OnlyFans women getting killed and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's consequences to our actions. We could do what we want, but what a lot of people are not saying is there's consequences, good and bad. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you were tuned into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real, intense,
Super intense.
Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.